Today's wisdom will create an indelible image of the three masters who control our life's experience: nature, nurture, and self-mastery. I'm very excited about these next 4 wisdom tips because you will learn the unique means that enable us to become creators. I'll explain the power of word switches to free our thinking from instinct and tradition, and I'll also, in the last video, reveal the concept by which anyone can acquire the wisdoms that direct our power to create a joyous, meaningful life. These 4 wisdoms are the foundation for the 100+ wisdoms that will follow. We have become powerful creators. We may say, "Let there be light," and then we easily accomplish the task. We simply need to flip one of the light switches. This is not magic. We understand there is wiring hidden behind the wall, and we don't see it, but we could easily verify the wires are there. Even though the switches may look identical, we know they produce different outcomes because they are wired differently. Our brain, like the light switch, has wiring we don't see, but we know it exists. Like this 3-switch light control, each leading to different actions, our brain has 3 sets of wiring leading to different actions. Nature is our first master. It pre-wires our brain during the 9 months we are created. Upon birth, nurturers, including culture and circumstance, take over and wire the second switch according to their perspective. And as we attain physical and mental maturity, we ourselves may design our own wiring to create new pathways leading to outcomes that we prefer. We call this process self-mastery. Each contributes to our well-being when we select the appropriate switch. Nature's switch was the first, wired during the 9 months of our creation to automatically direct our vital functions, such as breathing and digestion. Genes provide us with instinct, the trial and error wisdoms that promote the survival of the fittest and fight or flight behaviors that were effective in a savage, hostile environment. Our instinctive behaviors link us to our earliest ancestral beginnings. Here, a second switch is added. Nature, the forces outside of ourselves, begin wiring its switch upon birth. Unlike instinct, whose demands are innate in our biology and are pretty similar in each of us, our nurturers' plans for us are quite varied. For example, our nurturers may wire us Christian, Muslim, Jewish, or atheist, Democrat, Republican, Communist, or Nazi. We are prescribed the specific language we are to think and speak. If we are programmed for perfectionism and guilt, we are prone to go through life demanding more of ourselves than is reasonable, resulting in depression no matter how productive we are. If we're programmed for optimism and problem solving, we are inspired with chronic enthusiasm to become creators and appreciate ourselves and others. At one extreme, our nurturers may educate us to develop wings and fly off on our own to assume personal responsibility for who we are and what we become. On the other extreme, they may keep our wings so clipped that we are forced to closely adhere to however they indoctrinate us. In this case, attaining self-mastery may require extraordinary effort and risk-taking. During the first decades of our maturing, we have been described as a tabula rasa, a blank or unwritten on tablet. We mimic our nurturers like a parrot. Like wet clay or putty, during our prolonged immaturity, we are easily molded in the design prescribed by our nurturers. Repetition becomes habit. Habit, passed on from generation to generation, becomes tradition. Tradition, like instinct, is a difficult master to resist. Both instinct and tradition are dictators. Instinct expresses the trial and error solutions that worked in a savage environment, while tradition consists of the solutions that worked for yesterday's problems. Both are efficient because they are already programmed and require little conscious effort. They are usually effective, and most issues are unchanged from yesterday. However, neither instinct nor tradition is equipped to originate creative solutions to problems brought about by new knowledge. They are ill-suited to deal with such problems as pollution, global warming, and they are especially dangerous when applied to the most immediate threat to our loved ones, the proliferation of weapons of ultimate destruction that are being available to tribes who have already stated it is their intent to use them. Self-mastery is the third switch, and you notice it has a variable control that we can have a whole variety of changes in the outcome rather than just an off and on switch. Self-mastery is the third switch. The story of us gets more interesting when we get to the switch whose wiring we self-program according to our own original design. With maturity, we become creators of our own wiring. Our cerebral cortex, what I call our freedom organ, becomes fully physically mature about the age of 18. Our mental maturity usually takes an additional decade, more or less. As we discover knowledge, share it, and pass it forward from generation to generation, we make ourselves increasingly powerful creators. Our generation now grows knowledge with such explosive quantum speed that we can envision creating the utopia of our dreams, while at the same time we are making widely available our new weapons of self-extinction. No life on Earth, past or present, has ever possessed such power and the freedom to determine its destiny as our current generation. Our freedom organ, like the third light switch, empowers us to increase and decrease constructive and destructive outcomes. We have already created sufficient weapons, release-ready 24/7 to destroy the world for human life many times over. We can no longer tolerate the unleashing of our newest biologic and nuclear creations. Our work in progress is to make ourselves the wise, humane person to which we aspire and prevent our self-extinction. I look forward to the next three wisdoms that explain the process that we become powerful creators, the means we free our power from dictators and elevate the level of our humanity. Meanwhile, use the light switch analogy to remember our three masters, nature, nurture, and self-mastery, or if you prefer, use instinct and tradition for nature and nurture. Looking for you next wisdom.